sweetest person I know. I always think back about it, and I think about how I would, react if I was in this situation, and I just can't get over it because I don't know how I would really carry on.
At Mater Christi, we just kind of all came together.
From the time I met Emily when she was a little girl, she just always remained positive. She was a pretty quiet little girl, but she, never really let her troubles get in her way. She stayed upbeat, she stayed positive. Obviously a lot of that was with help from her mom and dad and siblings as a family unit, but Emily herself just had this very quiet presence, but you knew she was always thinking something, and you knew that there was always a method to her madness and her creations. And obviously she was such a amazingly creative young lady that with her writing and even like the artwork that she did in the hospital was always a little extra special.
I thought Emily had a wonderful personality and an outlook on life that I don't think many kids ever could have, simply from what she had to go through. She was always positive, always upbeat, always willing to lend a hand, put time into whatever that she wanted to accomplish. Read one of her papers one time, and she wrote it, I forget what the topic was, but she wrote it on a very, very personal level of her struggles with her illness and what she had to go through to beat this thing. And that paper really affected me in a way I don't think any other paper I've ever read ever has. Not that I haven't had good papers, and Emily was an excellent writer, but it wasn't just the writing, it was the emotion behind it. And I even showed it to another teacher, and it almost brought tears to both our eyes, the way she opened up her soul about what she had gone and been going through. Mm-hmm. And so that stands out in my...
She was quiet yet determined in her personality. She was a young lady that had a wisdom about her that I think was easily expressed in her personality too. That she was always a thinker, and that part of her personality was quite inspiring, I think, to everyone. And of course, the big part of her personality, I think, developed because she was a determined person to overcome whatever challenge that she ever faced.
Em and I were in the same preschool class, and basically in the same class every year growing up. Em was really gentle, and she cared about everyone, and I don't think she ever said mean things about anyone. We'd always have those people in our classes at Mater Christi that we'd be oh, we don't like that kid, or oh, we got into a fight with that one the other day or something. And she'd always just be yeah, whatever, maybe I'll be friends with them, what the heck.
I loved Emily's devilish side, that she was very sweet and caring and lovable, but she was always up for a good practical joke, and she always I think used that sometimes to get through some of the yucky days that she had, and to me she was just wise beyond her years.
We were walking back from the pond one day. We went on a long walk, and there was a storm rolling in, and I really wanted to run back, and I remember I was kind of scared. I was there's this huge storm rolling in, we're just strolling back to the house, we should probably get a move on. And I was Em, do you want to run back? I want to run back. I've been just sitting around all day. And she kind of knew I was scared, and she knew that it was just pointless and that there was a storm, but we were going to get back in plenty of time. And I was just I just really want to run back, but I was too cocky to admit that I was scared. And she was just okay, well, you really want to run? And I was yeah. She's okay, we'll go ahead and run the other way.
This don't mess with me.
Where did she go?
Yeah.
We used to all go up to the hospital when she's having treatment, just ride bikes around the halls. Everyone knew our family. We'd cook dinners in there. She's the reason we have border collies.
Oh yeah.
When Emily was going through her bone marrow transplant, and we have three. And well, it all started because she was going through radiation, and it's very, very hard to do that. And they were offering her VCRs and computers and televisions, and she doesn't like any of those things. She only likes to play games and read books. And so I said, Emily, anything, what would you like? Anything to help you get through this. And she said, Mom, I want you to have another baby. And I said, honey, I already have 4 children, and I'll give you my right arm, really, but I can't have another baby. So we settled on, when she got back to California, we were in California, when she got back to Vermont, that she could get a puppy. So that's how we got Luna, named after Luna Lovegood from Harry Potter. And after Luna, we got Calvin. We named him after Calvin. And then
They had puppies, and we kept Elvis.
named after the singer.
She seemed to have a wonderful outlook on life. I mean, I never even knew she was suffering until a few weeks before she died, when another student mentioned it to me in passing, that she'd had leukemia. I never even knew that. And then, of course, a few weeks later, she passed away. But she, every day she came in the front door and was always smiling, always said good morning, always looked like she was ready to take on the day, whatever the day was going to bring. I think she had a wonderful outlook on life. I think she made every minute count that she had, and really saw the fullness of life as much as any 15-year-old can do.
One of my favorite memories of Emily was doing the play at school here with her, and she was so cute because I didn't have a lot of time to practice my lines, and most of them were off stage. So whenever I was on stage, I was always afraid I'd miss or forget a line. But if I did, because in the end of the play, my conversation was right in front of Emily, she'd always be willing to lean over and whisper a line into my ear, or say, Mr. Wade, you gotta be over here, or this or that. So that's just my fondest memory of her, is that she would, she was looking out for me. I mean, she had her own part to deal with, and but she would always take the time. If I missed a line or didn't know what the heck I was doing, she'd help me out.